We begin from the western region, and days after torrential rains impacted most part of the western region, some communities are still filled with water, forcing some residents out of their homes. Correspondent Nnadoli has been to Akango, one of the affected villages in the Nzema East municipality of the western region, where residents are still paddling canoes to get in and out of the community. She has more in the following report.
For years, residents of Akango and its adjoining communities have been battling perennial flooding at the peak of the raining season. This year has not been exceptional. A kilometer of the road is still underwater. I am told the situation is worse with other communities in this municipality. Some residents shared with me what they say has been an annual ritual. They have made several complaints for help, but to no avail.
5 days. Yentimin chakra yan ko hanso aduane a ebedi so eden yemaye ti ye baye o se ye twawe ye du honso na moto san fire edu edwom honti.
It's been 5 days and we haven't been able to cross over. Food is also a problem. We go through hell for transportation. In and out, the fares cost us 4 cedis, which is 2 cedis each. For me, I would like it if they gave us a bridge. This happens every year. From here is a town called Dwale. They are even worse off. The kids there have not been to school the whole of this week. Even I was almost attacked. So if you can pass by and see if you can help out, it will help a lot.
As bad as the situation is, others are also making fortune out of the situation. Maxwell and his friends here are owners of these canoes, are cashing by transporting people in and out of the flooded area.
Okay, my say entire system here. My say the last time I see 4 years in it. Until I do sometime Santa Craya you tell we. But we didn't and I no I say Nsuona Etobe Brand so can say Okodwala Kra Nkwano. I am a baby 2009 and also Sweden na baby during there na we cry we dey ka say na keto amu ano no e bia fa say mo a mote canon e fa ba ko bia gi 2 cedis na bu also e fa moto sima e okada no and e gi 20 cedis any the pan kana say bia ma be say 10 cedis and say 15 cedis and e agi say no baby e wan there I want to ba I did ye but you do ga say bia so ye so say you consider because CSC we na kai na aka unenti na account so the mpemfo sikan no ti na ye bread.
Assembly member for the area Aswabeni says they have lost hope as they have continuously engaged stakeholders on their predicaments but have not seen any action to help mitigate the flooding.
Oh, it hasn't been easy. When the road came here around 1989, and then since the completion, we've been complaining to Adamus, we've complaining to Regent District, but there hasn't been any effort to the whatever we are asking them. Even recently, about 4 months ago, we went to Regent. They came to take design from main Takwa Road to Dwale. Looking at by the close of the year, maybe something possible will happen. As at now, there hasn't been any development. Okay, actually, it has been a worry to us. But all the same, what do we do? Unless maybe there is a serious issue like this, when you come to our aid, and maybe we will head somewhere. But the design is there already. It's in Accra.
Schools have been shut until the water recedes. The first and only owned Ghanaian mining company, Adamus Mines, provided some relief items to those affected.
Looking around at the level of distress created by the rains in these 2 communities, which fall inside our catchment area, we think it is part of the social responsibility to be able to help and do what we can to relieve the plight of the people who are affected. As we speak, we understand some of the houses, residences are underwater. The people do not have a means of traveling outside anywhere to be able to get access to some of the food items, and we think this is the best way we can support.
For Joy News, in Nnadoli, Western Region.
Let's still stay on floods and other natural disasters, and a professor of environmental sustainability science at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Frederick Atwama, is warning the environment would deal ruthlessly with the Ghanaian if human activities that destroy it are overlooked. According to him, the flood incident in Cape Coast, Accra and other parts of the country is just a tip of the reaction of the environment to illegal artisanal mining and a taking over of forest vegetation cover for people's selfish gains. He was speaking at his inaugural lecture at the University of Cape Coast. The past couple of days has seen flood waters inundate the people of Cape Coast, Chufo Heman, the commended Ne Iguafu municipality. The death of one person, broken bridges, roads caving in, houses razed to ground zero, incalculable number of displaced residents, as well as inestimable number of property destroyed due to the devastation caused by the floods. In Accra and some parts of the western region, the flood waters have wreaked enormous havoc with houses and vehicles submerged. Speaking at his inaugural lecture at the UCC, Professor Atwama described the relationship with the environment that has broken down as worrying and want urgent steps taken to deal with the situation.
It is not surprising that vegetation cover has given way to ground cover moving away, canopy cover is taken away, ground cover is taken away, you have the bare soil, which is exposed, and for which reason you find the weather elements acting on them, and then destroying water bodies. It's leading to siltation, and then, of course, because it is silted, the water holding capacity is compromised, and for which reason you realize that even the small amount of rainfall that we have, episodic rainfall, is causing floods. If we continue to treat the environment any way we like, because the environment is not selective. If, for instance, somebody with the financial wherewithal has built even in a waterway, when the impacts emanate, it is not going to select anybody for attention. Everybody would have to suffer, and we know that. In Cape Coast, in Accra, we see a lot of floods, and these are something that we need to also consider. So our human well-being is something which is predicated on the state of the environment. The state of mankind is predicated on the state of the environment. And this is where the kinship is. And I'm saying that in the last few years, we have broken this kinship because we are no longer living harmoniously with the environment the way we ought to. And the environment is teaching us little lessons. In fact, the lessons that is about to teach us has not started. This is the precursor or the prelude to what the environment can do if we continue to treat it in this particular manner.
He believes the issue requires an urgent multi-stakeholder approach to deal with it to reduce the impact of the floods.
Illegal artisanal small-scale mining is cross-scalar. When I say cross-scalar, it means that it has manifestations from the local to the global. So you have sub-national jurisdictions, that is local, municipal, regional, metropolitan areas all affected. And then beyond the nation, you are also thinking about the regional and then the global scale. There are a number of global forces that are driving the processes that we see manifest at the local level. So in that sense, it is multi-scalar, you see, and that is also something that makes it very difficult to really address. It is connected to different domains. So you have water linked to forest, forest linked to soils, soils linked to atmosphere, atmosphere linked to the anthroposphere. So all of these domains are connected.
NADMO and other government agencies have already started supplying relief items to the affected people, while the people that have been affected are counting their losses after the recession of the flood waters. Meanwhile, some of the broken bridges are yet to be fixed to reunite the communities. Reporting for Joy News, Richard K Nyarko, Cape Coast. We move to the Upper East region now, and 3 communities in that region are benefiting from projects in education, guinea fowl rearing and plastic basket weaving after receiving prizes for the participation in the LG Ambassador Challenge. The challenge was aimed at helping the participating communities to identify problems facing them and propose projects that could help resolve the problems. At the end of the challenge, the Anafobisi and Nyariga communities in the Bongo and the Tindonsobilgo community in Bolgatanga are benefiting from the project being implemented with the 60,000 Ghana cedis cash prizes presented to them for emerging winners. Correspondent Albert Sori has more in the following report.
The LG Ambassador Challenge was started in the year 2020 by Korea Food for the Hungry International and supported by South Korean multinational electronics company LG Electronics. The challenge was for various community groups to pitch ideas about projects they could implement to help solve various problems in their communities. At the end of the challenge this year, the groups from Atta and Nyarga, both in the Bongo district, won prizes to implement projects aimed at improving education and the local economy, respectively. The group from the Tindonsobligo community in the Bolgatanga municipality also won a prize to implement a guinea fowl rearing project aimed at economically empowering the people in the community. They were awarded 60,000 Ghana cedis each to implement the project. Samuel Ofori Menu is a project manager at Korea Food for the Hungry International, an NGO that specializes in child development programs and also working to support communities achieve their goals.
Your proposal will then be evaluated based on this criteria: the effectiveness, feasibility, manageability, sustainability, and so on. Then you will be selected and awarded with an amount of 60,000 Ghana cedis to fund your projects. This year, over 100 communities applied, and out of these 3 communities were awarded.
At the Nnadoli community, the education project is aimed at improving access to information communication technology, ICT. A new ICT lab has therefore been set up for the Nnadoli Junior High School. Hitherto, the pupils of this school never had access to any computers.
And we are very grateful for providing us these computers. We will now know how to work in the computer. We promise you that we will perform well in BEC.
At the Nyarga community in the Bongo district, the community group invested the prize money from the LG Ambassador Challenge into a plastic basket weaving project. The project does not only create employment, it also helps to keep the environment clean by making use of plastic waste. Philemon Amwa is a leader of the group.
We were using only the straw to weave the basket, then which consumes a lot of straw before you can complete one basket. But now LGA has come to train us on how we can use plastic plus the material to make a basket, which means that it reduces the cost of materials. And 2, when you look at our sanitation sector, LGA has also helped us to know that the plastic that we are throwing around, they are very important in our business.
The Tindonsobligo community in the Bolgatanga municipality have invested their 60,000 Ghana cedi prize from the LG Ambassador Challenge into a guinea fowl rearing business. A well-structured shelter has been built for keeping the birds and an incubator installed for hatching eggs. A tricycle has also been procured for the farm. Here is a youth of the community who works on the guinea fowl farm.
So far, the guinea fowl, they are helping us. Some of us, we don't have work. We can also come and then get something. As far as we have the feeding, we give them. It's not difficult like that.
Last year, 3 winners of the LG Ambassador Challenge went home with 50,000 Ghana cedis each, which they invested in various projects. It is hoped that the program will be extended so that more communities can benefit. Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
We move to the Bono East region now, and as farmers worldwide are reeling the sting of sanctions as the Ukraine war has sent fertilizer prices soaring to new all-time highs, Prompting concerns over a global food shortage, the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development is intensifying its call for the use of organic fertilizers to promote agroecological farming. The center, together with its partners, held a stakeholder engagement in Techiman to discuss strategies that seek to help small-scale farmers adapt to climate change and improve nutrition through production and consumption of nutrient-rich, diverse foods. Atta Sabit has more in the following report.
The World Food Programme estimates that cereal production during the 2022 cropping year could potentially decrease by 16% year-on-year. This is largely because fertilizer prices have reached all-time high both in the global and domestic markets, casting a serious shadow on the 2022 cereal harvests and food security. Here in Ghana, there is a growing interest from farmers to convert some or all of their acreage to organic production, a move that has been championed by the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development over the past decade. In view of this, CICOD, together with its partners, held a workshop in Techiman to drive a strategy for climate change adaptation and mitigation to support smallholder farmers. Wilberforce Latte is a Deputy Executive Director at CICOD.
We've been talking about agroecology, the use of organic materials and all that. But it's been very difficult, especially from the policy makers. But thankfully, the war between Russia and Ukraine created the opportunity for even the deputy ministers to say that they want to wean off farmers from chemical fertilizers. So for me, the opportunity has been created.
He noted that the meeting is to, amongst other things, establish partnerships between CSOs and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to ensure that there is a clear roadmap for the farmer group.
The idea is for us to dialogue, what challenges do we face, what opportunities are there. If government should ban fertilizers today, chemical fertilizers, it will be difficult for farmers to produce. So we believe that we need to transition, but we need to have clear roadmap, clear strategy for transitioning. And we believe that as we work together, we'll be able to address the needs of farmers in promoting agroecology.
One of the proposals made by the participants includes the need to establish a community-based organic compost production post to help in its accessibility. Olawumi Benedict is an organic farmer and a trainer at GPS.
What we can do is to have community-based production sites. These materials are already at the community level. And so if we have community production sites, the farmers are not thinking of, I need to build structure, I need to build shelter, I need to get this drum, I need to get this inputs. But at the community level, they already have all the things they need. They bring in their raw materials to do the compost, and then they are supported by other farmers. So I bring my own today, everybody comes to help me. That way, they're able to produce a lot.
Some of the municipal and district directors of agriculture present at the workshop lauded the meeting and advised that more of such engagements need to be held occasionally to help avert the issues of climate change and its negative effects.
It's very important because the NGOs normally that collaboration is not there. They are doing their thing differently and they come out with issues. Sometimes it's not true, but sometimes they try to push it and propagate it. So when the two of us meet and we try to dialogue, it irons out those things and then it clears air for us to work together.
This workshop, I will rate it as excellent, and I want to thank the organizers of this workshop that it is even in government policy that there should be public-private partnership. And what we are seeing today is one of the partnerships government has proposed that we should be doing.
Atta Sabit, Joy News, Techiman.
Correspondent will take a short break. We shall be back with more. Stay with us. Come back from the break, and the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage is assuring that all issues surrounding the abandoned Atta Mills Presidential Library would be resolved in the shortest possible time in order to make the library functional. The library that was commissioned in 2016 to serve research, educational and tourism purposes has been left to rot, sparking concerns from residents. Speaking at the news conference ahead of the 10th commemorative Atta Memorial Lectures in Cape Coast, chairperson of the local organizing committee for the Western and Central regions for the John Evans Atta Heritage Lectures, Professor Francisca Dore Dubuando says it's hurting that the library should be in the state in which it is, but they are gradually resolving the issues surrounding it. There is more in this report. The John Evans Atta Presidential Library in Cape Coast, a memorial and research facility which was completed and inaugurated in 2016, is yet to be put to use. The abandonment of the facility for the past 6 years, residents of Cape Coast say, represent an insult to the memories and legacy of the late president. But speaking at the news conference ahead of the Atta Memorial Lectures in Cape Coast, chairperson of the Committee for the Western and Central Regions, Professor Francisca Dore Dubuando, indicated a lot was being done to resolve the issues surrounding it.
I have been associated with the library since the sword was cut. And I remember that the government of Ghana handed over the library to the University of Cape Coast to make it part of the institutional libraries of the university. I acknowledge that the university hasn't been able to use the library because of some unresolved issues. You asked whether the memorial heritage will sit down to look on unconcerned for the library to deteriorate further. I will say that it has come to the attention of the memorial heritage, and we believe that when the board of directors come for the lecture, they will take a trip to the place to look at it, and then they will take it from there.
She clarified that the lecture is being organized by the JEA Memorial Heritage and not any other institutional organization.
There may be other organizations, and I have heard about the institute, but this program is being organized by the JEA Mills Heritage, Memorial Heritage. I also said in my presentation that there have been earlier lectures. I remember very well that we have alternated with GIMPA to hold lectures to the memory of our late president. But with this heritage, which was launched just this year, I am sure very soon all other splinter groups may look forward to working together with the heritage, or there will be a way for us to know who holds not the legacy, but the link to this legacy.
The lecture comes off on the 29th of June 2022 in Cape Coast. Reporting for Joy News, Richard K Nyarko, Cape Coast. Chief Justice Kwesi Enimiyebo has stated that it is the avowed goal of the Judicial Service to bring the delivery of justice to the doorsteps of the people, hence the opening of courts in districts they don't exist. Supervising Wa High Court Judge Justice Yusuf Asibe speaking on behalf of the Chief Justice at the commissioning of the Nnadoli District Court noted that the opening of the court will reduce the cost of arduous times that litigants go through in the districts in their pursuit for justice. Joy News' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam is not reporting from Wa this time, but reporting from Nnadoli.
The Local Government Act of 2016, Act 936, enjoins all metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to exercise deliberative, legislative, and executive functions to ensure ready access of citizens to courts for the promotion of justice. However, many assemblies in the country are yet to fulfill that mandate. The Nnadoli district, created some 34 years ago, is one of such assemblies that was without a court, and litigants had to travel several dozens of kilometers to seek justice. Concerned about the plight of the people, the Nnadoli District Assembly constructed this magnificent edifice for use as a court by the Nnadoli Magistrate. Representing the Chief Justice of Ghana, Justice Kwesi Enimiyebo, for his commissioning was the supervising High Court Judge, Justice Yusuf Asibe, who stated that having a court at Nnadoli is in line with the avowed Judicial Service goal of bringing justice to the doorstep of the people. Justice Yusuf Asibe then outlined the cases they will have jurisdiction over.
Citizens of this community and surrounding areas can now come and seek justice over all manner of cases and issues. People can now come to court and litigate in civil matters like land disputes. The court will have criminal jurisdiction in matters like stealing. The court will have juvenile and family tribunal where matters involving juveniles, marital and maintenance issues could be settled. Members of this community can come and celebrate their marriage. Citizens of this assembly who fail to pay their fees, property rates, who fail to observe the sanitary and other bylaws of the assembly could be brought to court for the law to deal with them.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali admonished litigants to seek justice from the magistrate and not to try to bribe him.
I want to also appeal to the good people of Nnadoli who will be patronizing the services of this court not to try to bribe or influence any judge or staff of the court in any form. The people of this area must not engage in needless litigation because of the presence of this court in the area.
Before the court has its first sitting, Senior State Attorney at the Office of the Attorney General's Department, Lawyer Saeed Abdul Shakur, is already talking about the benefit the people will derive from it.
Almost all indictable cases are either sent to Jirapa or to Wa, because indictment starts at the district court. And when there is no district court, if there is any offense here that is triable on indictment, we have to go to either Wa or Jirapa. And this will save us a lot of trouble. Now we can come to Nnadoli court and start the committal process in court. There are either, let me say, minor offenses, misdemeanors that can easily be tried by this court, but oftentimes they are sent to Wa or to Jirapa. Now all of that will be tried here.
The onus for delivering justice at the court now rests on the bosom of the Jiriba District Magistrate, His Worship Baba Isaku Idi, who has been given additional role to take charge of the court. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Nnadoli.
And the Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitiwul, is looking forward to the completion of the 500-bed capacity Afari Military Hospital in the Chuma Nwabieja district of the Ashanti region by December 2022. He has also asked contractors on the project for a monthly milestone report. I don't want excuses, he told the contractors. He says that though ministers and other top officials will visit the site practically every month to assess the status of the project, his team will be there daily. Mr. Nitiwul acknowledges there are not many things to do to guarantee the contractors finish the job. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin has more in the following report.
We'll do everything possible, humanly possible, to ensure that this hospital becomes operational in 2023. But like you said, of course, there are a few things that we need to do to make sure that we help the contractor to complete the work. We will do that as much as possible as a government to ensure that whatever he needs, we'll provide it for him to complete the hospital. I just want he himself, the hospital, the EDI themselves to know that we are monitoring whatever they are doing. We'll continue to monitor. Almost every month we'll be here. In fact, my team will be here on a daily basis with you. But the ministers and the top officials will be here almost every month to monitor your progress and your milestones. In fact, I will expect a report every month on your milestones to see where you are, because I don't want excuses. We will do our part. You should do your part, so that we will not have any excuses to do. The president is very passionate about this. Last Wednesday, this hospital became a topic in the National Council meeting, Security Council meeting, because the president gave very clear instructions. Whatever we have to do to make sure that this hospital becomes operational in 2023, we have to do it.
To track development and engage with the contractors, the Defense Minister and members of Parliamentary Select Committee on Health visited the hospital. According to Mr. Nitiwul, the ministry would make every effort to ensure the hospital is operational.
He was expected to use 42 months to complete the hospital, We never started the hospital itself through our own fault as government for 6 years. And so he would not be able to complete it. So he made a claim of $50 million to us. In fact, a little over $50 million, just $50-something million to addition to the ministry. We asked AG and all the advisors, the AG from finance, we went there and then they said yes. If we look at the matter, and two things, we need this hospital. Secondly, if the contractor were to carry it forward, we may lose the issue. So he has a point, we should look at it. We went into negotiation and finally we came to a figure of 19-point-something million for him. That's because he insisted 30 million. As we negotiated and negotiated and negotiated, finally we agreed that okay, some 19 million would do for you to complete the whole thing. That's the phase one of the hospital, so that this was 500 little bed hospital can keep running. The Minister for Finance did advance half of that money to him in December 2021, so that he can continue. That's where we are today. He's looking for the other balance to continue. We've assured him that we've made that commitment, so they should continue. Whether we pay them or we don't pay them, we'll continue. We will pay them, 100%. We will pay them. Even though we have some issues that we'll tackle with them based on that, because we and finance have also raised some issues, but we are dealing with that one. All we can assure them is that they should make sure that by December 14th, we are coming back here to come and commission the hospital.
The contractors are optimistic the facility will be finished on time based on the work done so far. The installation of equipment has advanced and all physical infrastructure completed. However, some members of the health committee have doubts the hospital will be finished on time.
It looks like forever. It's a comment anyway. For me, when you spread it out, I thought it is almost the whole hospital you are doing again. So I'm skeptical about maybe you have to convince me.
We are commissioning or operationalizing this facility by the close of the year, if I'm right. I want to know whether you have done the reconciliation with the government for the releases to enable you to complete this job. I want, more explanation to that. Because if the government was unable to release the fund to you, as you are saying, it means that you can't complete it. But we have been told today that the project will be operationalized by December.
But the chair of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health is pleased with work done.
I am very hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I mean, looking at the progress and the milestones or the timelines they've put between now to December, I'm very convinced that by December they should be able to complete works. The Ghanaians want to use this place. What I have also encouraged them is that they should also look at the concept of private sector partnering them, because this is in a very serene atmosphere. So somebody might partner them for spa development and some hotel apartments, and people would come for walk-in services where it is like self-admission.
Mr. Nnadoli later expresses concern about the delay in finishing government facilities.
The experiences that this hospital went through, we should not allow other hospitals in this country to go through that experience. I think that we should not allow that to happen as a country. So we are learning lessons from some of these things so that we continue to make sure this is there. So
the Ministry of Defense is expecting a lot of civilians using the hospital with future air ambulance to make it more competitive, while a military commander has already been posted to the facility. Recruitment of about 2,000 staff will begin in the next budget. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
We move to the northern region now, and Marie Stopes Ghana, an international sexual and reproductive non-governmental organization based in Ghana, says it has helped averted nearly 800,000 unintended pregnancies in the last 5 years among women and adolescents in Ghana. The NGO says it has also helped in preventing almost 600,000 unsafe abortions and closely 300,000 maternal deaths. There is more in this report by Martina Bugri.
Speaking to the media after a stakeholder engagement meeting in Tamale on a project that empowering women and girls to have choice, boldly autonomy and access to family planning service. Country Director of Maristoop Ghana, George Akanlu, said family planning was now on the list of the National Health Insurance Scheme and urged the public to take advantage of these services.
If you look at the main focus of family planning, it is for people to be able to plan their families well, and ultimate result being that we should not have any adverse effects in our population, i.e. we should not have people getting pregnant and don't want the pregnancy and will have to go and terminate it unsafely. Or we should not have women in their attempt to give birth or getting pregnant dying out of it. So that's what we are trying to prevent ultimately. So if you look at the figures, we have been able to avert unintended pregnancies, we've been able to avert unsafe abortions, we've been able to prevent maternal mortalities. And I think ultimately, with all the work that we are doing, that is the ultimate aim that we are looking at. Therefore, every woman should be able to get pregnant and should be able to give birth to a child who will be wanted.
Called on health service providers and various hospitals across the country to respect the policy which is being implemented by government.
We've worked together to get family planning onto the NHIS. Government has just started the implementation. That is just halfway gone. We've just done half of the work. The remaining half is to then ensure that facilities on the ground respect this policy and that no woman should be charged for coming to a facility to action family planning. And I think that is something that we need to push. That once it is part of the policy, every woman should have access to free family planning once they walk into a facility with their account.
The Northern Regional Deputy Director of Public Health, Dr. Hilarious Abewu, urged the public to embrace family planning service and properly plan their families.
So if a family decides that they want to have 3 children, as healthcare workers, our responsibility is to help them to plan these families in ways that maintains the health of the woman and also by extension the entire family. If a woman decides or a family decides or a couple decides that they want to have 6 children, our responsibility as healthcare workers is again to counsel them and help them on how to get these 6 children in manners that does not worsen the health of the mother, in attempting to help couples plan their families. We have inadvertently conveyed a message that sounds like family planning means stop having children or cut down on the number of children you're having. And that usually is why most men do not even want to hear about it at all. And so women would have to go and hide in order to have these family planning methods. Again, there are fears that if you are on a family planning method, you may not be able to give birth again when you want to give birth. And these are all not entirely true.
To our final story in this edition of From Our Correspondent, and neglecting us will further break us. That is the appeal of persons with disabilities in the German South municipality of the Bono region. They also want the government to increase the support from the Common Fund. The District Assembly is stepping up measures to monitor the impact of the support, but the chairman of the District Federation, Charles A.J. Mensah, insists a 5% increment will ease the burden in their daily lives. He appealed when the German South Assembly presented support items to 70 beneficiaries. Precious Semevo has more in this report.
I have not been able to walk nor work for the past 6 years due to an accident that affected my spinal cord. Life has been very difficult for me and my 2 children. If I get the freezer and capital to start cold storage business, it would help me take care of them. The plea of Kwasin Ketia Omar, he's one of the many persons with disabilities in the German South municipality who need support due to the difficulties in living a normal life. Their main support comes from the District Assembly Common Fund, but Charles A.J. Mensah, the PWD chairman in German South, wants a 5% upward adjustment to reflect the current time.
As for 3%, it's very good. We appreciate it. But if government will please give us 5% that we take it in good way. Some of us did not have a work to do. If we give one free to a person who is physically challenged, he can sell water. And when he is hungry, he will use that money to buy something to eat.
While they wait for the government response, the German South Municipal Assembly Chief Executive Andrews Bediako disbursed freezers, irons, chairs, fees, sewing and fufu machines from the Assembly's Common Fund to 70 beneficiaries. The support, ranging from education, health and business assistance, came at a cost of over 90,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, I think we want to eradicate poverty or reduce poverty to its barest minimum. We are giving these items so that they will not be going to the road all the time, chasing people for money, begging and all those things, because they have brains as we all have, and if you give them something like this, definitely they can also work with it for them to also get something to eat from their various homes and feed their family. So we are doing this to tell them that what those who are able or fully fit can do, they physically challenged can also do it.
He said the Assembly would continue to monitor their progress to ensure the assistance is used for the intended purpose.
We monitor them at least every quarter. We go around to see. This is the second time as I became the MC doing, and the last one that we did, one of them is able to come out with sandals, and if you see the sandals, you see that actually he's doing very well. Some of them even pick the items, go and sell, and the monitoring has indicated to them that whatever they have taken from the Assembly or whatever they have taken from government, people will come and monitor for them to see whatever they are using those items for.
The PWD hopes the government and society will not forget about them.
We are appealing to the government and other people who are kind to or sympathize with us that we are also a human being. God created us. So we want them to take care, as they take care for some of our brothers who are well, so that we are also be happy. If you neglect us, this will break us.
We appeal for support from people, and God will bless them. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Drobo.
And that's our show for today. Many thanks for watching. My name is Richard K Nyarko. I'll see you same time next week. Have a good day.